viewers. My name is Greg. I am a 60-year-old Midwesterner who's been in the audio equipment since I bought my first component system back in 1974. I am doing an updated video of my Aerial Acoustics 7Ts over here. I did a video probably about 2 years or so ago, but quality wasn't very good. I had a couple of people comment, nice video, but the video quality kind of sucks, so I thought now that I have a better camera, I thought I'd give it another shot. So I'm into a lot of different genres of music, mostly classic rock, jazz, blues, some orchestral music once in a while for something different. I don't do country or rap or anything like that, but I think I've got a fairly broad range of music that I listen to and appreciate. And a couple artists, maybe Steely Dan back in the day, Sabbath and Judas Priest, that kind of thing. Now I listen to a lot more jazz and things like that. But I still listen to rock too. The latest album I bought was Hyperspace by Beck, and it sounds fantastic. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I love all of his songs. I don't, but the ones that I do like, I like a lot. All of his stuff sounds fantastic. It's so well recorded. As a matter of fact, there's a couple songs in it called Darker Places and Stratosphere in his latest recording that I stream on Tidal via MQA. It almost defies space, the imaging that he can put out on some of those songs. But anyway, back to the stars of the show here. So these are all ScanSpeak drivers that were specifically designed for the speaker. I know you can't see my head right now, but that's okay. So starting on top, we have the 1-inch ring radiator tweeter. We have a 5.9-inch mid-range driver. I believe that is Papyrus composite. And we have two 7.1-inch low-frequency drivers. These are on one crossover network, and these are on their own separate crossover network. I know that these are tuned a little bit differently from one another. These speakers weigh, get down here again, these speakers weigh 96 pounds. They don't look like they would, but they do. They are 9 layers pressed on a pretty big press. And they've got nice curved cabinets, which I'll get in on a little bit closer, which really help with the standing wave issue. Let me do the old knuckle test. These things are they're about as solid as you can get. So let me get the camera here and I'll try and get you in a little bit closer and show you a couple other things about them. Flip the old screen around so I can see. So you can see the top of the cabinet has that nice curve on the back of it. And it does have the really solid dual binding posts on the back as well. I have these bi-wired. I have the Analysis Plus for the bass and MIT Shotgun S3s for the mids and the highs. And I have the Gaia Acoustics footers on the bottom there. Can't see them, but they're there, trust me. Which brought out even a little bit more performance out of these. So they are rated at 28 hertz to 25 kilohertz in room. Now you might look at these and think to yourself, how's that possible? Well, I'm telling you, after listening to these things and running REW, it's probably been almost a year now, but when I looked at those sweeps, it maybe didn't quite hit 28. It was a little bit hard to tell, but if it didn't, it was darn close. And I used to have bigger speakers down here with bigger cabinets and a built-in powered subwoofer in them, and they couldn't hold these things jackstrap as far as anything goes, even bass, even though they have much bigger drivers with a built-in subwoofer in them. One of the reasons I'm doing this is that this company, Aerial Acoustics, who's chief cook and bottle washer and designer, is Michael Kelly. They do no advertising. Now these speakers right now, MSRP is 11 grand even for a pair, and I know a lot of people think, well, that's an awful lot of money for a speaker, for a pair of speakers, I mean to say, but I love music, and to me this was a very worthwhile investment. I use my music system literally every day. As you can see, it's part of a home theater system, but I use it much more for music than I do anything else, including concert videos and things like that. I do watch movies down here as well, but so these things are incredible for music, and to me, if something is that good for music, then you know it's going to do really well for home theater too. I mean, you know, maybe some of the big JTRs and things like that might have a little bit more dynamic punch, but I don't know, for me, these are absolutely not just good, they're really good for everything. Um, One of the things I really appreciate about them is their imaging is just so spot on. You can, I mean, one of the goals when I set out to finally get a pair of speakers that I really wanted was to be able to sit down in my favorite chair and just feel like I'm in the studio, I'm in the concert hall, just really hearing what the mixing engineer and the producers and the artists wanted me to hear, and that's what I feel like I have here. They just image so well, and just they're very, very well balanced speaker. They're not, they don't feel like they, you know, in any certain frequency range. They're like shouts over everything else, whether it's the bass, the mid, the treble, everything just blends seamlessly. So I guess I should talk a little bit about the upstream components here. Down on the bottom there, next to that little subwoofer, is a um, music. Sorry, my brain's skipping. That's a Musical Fidelity M8 700 monoblock amp. Before I purchased those, I actually emailed Michael Kelly and asked him if he thought they would be a good match, and he gave me a seal of approval. It's so cool when you deal with a smaller company like his. You can actually talk to the designer, or email him in my case, and he will, you know, he's a straight guy. I'm sure if he didn't like those amps, he would have told me that. And if he thought, or I should say, if he thought they weren't a good match for the speakers, he would have told me that. Get the other one in the picture. I don't want the left one to feel left out, if you'll pardon the pun. So upstream equipment from that, my tube preamp is a B Balanced Audio Technology VK33. And my other music sources, I've got a Mytek Brooklyn Plus DAC, which is fed by a Bluesound Node 2 streamer. I listen to Tidal and some other music sources as well. I also have a Sony HAP Z1ES, which you can kind of see the silver box up on top there. And I still listen to vinyl once in a while, although me personally, I prefer the music server and the streamer. And I also have an Oppo BDP-105 that I can still play CDs through, but lately most of my listening has been through streaming through Tidal. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's cool, but I even listen to SACD surround and like DVD audio surround music once in a while, but that's rare. I just love listening to two-channel music. That's my thing. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to give some props to Aerial Acoustics, and you know, if you want to make a good investment in music and you love it as much as I do, and you spend a lot of time listening to music, to me it's a worthwhile investment. If you're, you know, they do make smaller speakers too. A friend of mine, Ron, just picked up a pair of 6Ts, the little brother to these. He's in a smaller room than I am, and he loves them. I heard them the other night for the first time, and I was blown away too. I mean, they're in a smaller room, so that, you know, so you didn't need the 7Ts, but the 6Ts in that room really sparkle. And he also got a pair of 5Ts for surround music, for surround channels, rear channels, whatever you want to call it. Now, I did not hear those, but Ron said that he can't believe, he had them up front for a little bit. on some stands just to see, and he said he couldn't believe that that music was coming out of a smallish bookshelf. And the T series is their primary series, but they do have other speakers as well. So if you're in the market, you'd be doing yourself a favor if you could find a way to audition these. They don't have a whole lot of dealers like a lot of the lesser known boutique brands have in common with that, but if you can get out to give them a listen, you'd be well served to do so. So I will end it there. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your patience and happy listening.